Today's video is a first draft test of an engine I'm working on, and that is the Caterpillar 3176 ATAC. I think I said that correctly.
Thunder, like you've seen it a million times.
Good morning everyone, welcome back to American Truck Simulator. I'm David Steele and here's my truck. That's not my truck, wow, that's someone driving right through the camera. Thankfully it wasn't me stood there. Alright, so this is the Freightliner FLB. It is one of my favourite mod trucks. I've seen some criticism of the truck because some of the textures, especially the interior, aren't perhaps as good quality as maybe people would like. But I gotta say, when I'm driving it, I don't mind. I have a certain fondness for cab overs, and yeah, this is one of them. Anyway, today's video is a first draft test of an engine I'm working on, and that is the Caterpillar 3176 ATAC. I think I said that correctly. And I'm pairing this up with a second generation Eaton Auto Shift transmission. And at the time of recording the video, I've just added that to the Steele Productions Engine Pack. And the 3176 will be along presently. Anyway, so yeah, I'm kind of just want to see how well this engine works. The engine that we're using today is the base model. It's the 230 horsepower, so it's not exactly gonna, I guess, pull the arms off a Wookiee. Is that how we even say it? Anyway, let's go ahead and there we go. I avoided the next truck. Let's start the truck up. I'm gonna go ahead and just jump in the cabin. So I'll be right back when we're situated. Okay, and here we are. Right, I'm not going to pull any cargo for this trip. I just really want to make sure that everything checks out. So the 10-speed we're using has a 3.9 final drive. So it's geared to be about 1300 revs at 55 and just over 1500 revs at 65. Given that we've not got much power, this is probably all that we really need. Let's go ahead and just check the map. I want to do a circuit. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, we've got a hidden road here. Might go and explore that. Yeah, I think I'll go and explore the hidden road. I suspect it just loops around. But the circuit I was going to run sort of went round towards Fort Stockton and then came back. But let's just go ahead and check out how well this hidden road goes to. And you know what? Something else I want to do. It's going to pop up my little dashboard display here. That should be showing on the screen. That's going to show some information about how well my computer's running. You know, I'll quickly summarize what we've got here. That row of 16 squares, that shows each how well each core or virtual core, each CPU or virtual CPU, or is it logical CPU is the correct term, is working. So if it's red, that core is maxed out or close to being maxed out. If it's blue, it is barely working, and obviously a couple of colors in between. We've got the graphics card information on the right hand side. That just shows what the model is, the temperature, the clock speed, and the power draw, which is 284 watts right now. Now the chart at the bottom, blue shows how well the CPU is working overall. So what's that, about 20% maybe? And the GPU is working pretty much 60% right now, give or take. Right, let's go ahead and move off. I want to make sure there's not a truck coming from the right. Did I leave my engine brake on? No, maybe I did, not sure. Right. Okay, so a bit of whipsawing there. What I mean by whipsawing is goes to change gear, and the next gear that it selects, it's going too slow by the time it arrives in gear, so we just saw it then. You can get that when feathering the throttle on an engine. What makes it worse is if the shift time is quite lengthy. And that's the reason why I'm using the 2nd gen auto shift, because that has quite a long shift time. I really want to basically give it worst case. Go ahead and pull to a stop here. Okay. Let's move off. Very, very gently with the throttle here. Okay. That is ever so gentle. Alright. Getting a bit of interface lag, but it's okay. So sometimes when you get it into a new truck or engine or gearbox, you need to let the game sort of figure everything out. And typically that just means driving it around for a very short period of time. Much like the real auto shift transmission, as I understand. These transmissions had 3 pedals, so a clutch pedal as well as your brake and your accelerator. And you only use the clutch when you're moving off, so just feather the throttle, C. Okay, so see that time it shifted to 2nd and it stayed in 2nd gear, so that's good. Just getting itself calibrated. It's quite normal, but it's never a good thing when you're testing an engine and the first thing it does is it skips around the gearbox. It's going to be dawn soon. Okay. I suppose I could have put this engine to Zmod's 3176A, but I didn't. So we're using probably what the engine will end up with, which is I think it's a sound from ETS2, I believe. I guess we'll stop here. Little harsh on the truck, but there we go. Wheels today are from Jasper. Thank you to my friend Zach for those. And we can see the branding there. These are the Freightliner standard wheels. They're 22.5 by 9. So they're not the 24-inch, and pretty much matching on the tail as well. Trailer is a 53-footer with 4 axles, as you can see. But 2 of them are height adjustable. Did I take it? Oh, it did. Yeah, I'm kind of like driving in the middle of the road here. Oops. Okay, this was fun, but can we get a move on? Thank you. So with it being such a low-powered engine, it's gonna need shorter gearing. May also need more revs, but this engine is it should be quite tractable. It's a 975 foot-pound torque engine, so it's not a massive amount. It's a 10-litre engine, but it is the lowest tune version. In peak torque, depending on the engine in the range, is between 1100 and 1300 revs. I think this one's 1100. The 250 horsepower versions, I think, 1300. Okay. So what I'm doing there is I'm braking quite a bit early. I'm just checking how well it gets back on the power when you have to, well, when you do that for reals, I suppose one might say. Oh yeah, I mean it's not the quickest thing around. I don't expect it to be. But that's alright. Yeah, so shifting up at just over about 1100 revs, so that's good. Now, I'm not going to take this entry ramp on the left. We're going to take the hidden road. Let's keep on going down here. I wonder if there's anything to the right. So the little, you can just about see it on the map. There's the sort of grayed out area section of the road. In fact, it goes straight ahead. We have an engine brake. Try going to the right. I don't think there's going to be anything there. We might get bounced here. A bounce will come across the barrier. So, let's see. In neutral just in case. Yep, we did. The reason why I put it in neutral is if you're in gear it can just stall the engine. Usually it doesn't damage you if you hit the barrier, but it might stall it. Okay, jump back in the cabin. Let's see where this road goes. Now I suspect it just goes under. Well, I suspected it went underneath the Interstate 20, but now I'm not so sure because we're climbing. But we're running parallel to it, so what's up with that? Giving it full power now to try and get up this hill, and yeah, it's doing it. Okay, I see. Well, that's not quite the exciting end I was hoping for. Let's just check something. Let's jump out here. What's the other road? There's another road that's this opposite. Oh, I see. Okay, there we go. Well, alright. So that was not the most exciting, but okay. Right, it's a gap in traffic. Let's go. Oh, where do they come from? Thanks, ATS. Oh, Cascadia. Oh, is that an LT? No, it's Cascadia. I thought he was stopping for me, but apparently not. Okay, let's try this again. Alright. I'm pulling out in front of this red car. Thank you. Okay, so there are times when having a lot more power would be very useful, and that was certainly one of them. Right, we're going to get up to speed here. I'm going to use the cruise control, but first things first, this is a full power acceleration. I don't know whether I would necessarily call it acceleration, but hey, it's picking up speed slowly. Yeah, officer's going to pull me over for going too slow, right? Nearly doing 40. Right. I'm going to go ahead and use the cruise control and let it pass into top gear with cruise engaged. Set my cruise at 55, like so. And let's see when it reaches it. In fact, I've got a speedometer on the... What was that? 45, and we're in top gear. Okay, seems a little low, but it's still accelerating up a gradient with nothing on behind me. I get that, but it's still accelerating. So peak torque really is at 1100 revs, and yep. Okay, so I have to say it's doing as well as I expected. Go ahead and go here. We want to take this little off ramp here on the left. This will be fun. Okay, I mean that was no potential for drama there, but nothing really happened, so okay. Go ahead and now crossing the solid white line. Gosh, it must be in Texas. I see that all the time. And someone just drove in the back of my trailer. Thanks for that. There's a road here on the left. Wonderful. Okay, I have to experiment with that. Meanwhile, this isn't a good idea to check the handling of the truck, David. I wonder if it's for extra wide loads. That little sort of extra slip road. Actually, I need to be in the other lane. Yeah, way to go, David. Great example of your driving. Well, I gotta say though, it's pulling just fine. So no real issues there. Now, the reason why I popped the dashboard up is just curious to see how hard the game is working. I've got a couple of different settings I'm trying. And so far, I mean, we had a bit of stutter and lag when we jumped in the truck, but oh, there's a bit there. Okay. So, what am I going to do? Yeah, look at that CPU spike. Well, that was when it was saved in the game, and that's definitely using multiple cores. Let's jump into here. Go System Options. Let's tweak something in my graphics. So let's turn depth of field off. See what difference that makes, if any. I really want to look at the GPU uses. I've capped my frame rate at 30 and I'm using lossless scaling in this particular run. Yeah, no real difference I can see here. I could try some deeper analysis using Intel PresentMon, or that said the SCS built-in tools, but I'm not going to stress it. Yeah, okay. It's implying we could potentially double our frame rate, but that's from a GPU perspective, but I don't think we can from a CPU perspective. Anyway, depth of field on or off doesn't make any difference to the graphics load. What do I prefer in terms of visually? Well, this is it off, and that's great and all. What if I turn it on? Go back to here, turn it back on. Options, turn it on. It's probably going to ask me if I'm sure. Nope, it didn't. Alright. Can I really tell a difference? Whoa. I mean, maybe. But GPU workload appears to be the same. CPU workload, it spikes a little bit there, but that's probably something else. I don't see a difference. Alright, well, what I'm now going to do is I'm going to jump back to the shop and swap the engine for a different one, but I'm going to pause the recording whilst I do that because I don't need everyone to enjoy that with me, and be right back. Alright, that was quick. Here we go. Let's jump into my engines. I probably don't need the dashboard showing anymore. But I'm just going to keep it on for a couple of reasons, and one of those reasons is watch what happens to CPU use when you switch around the different categories. But meanwhile, let's punch in 3176. See, what have we got? Yeah, they all seem to be present and correct. Yeah, I was right. The 250 is the only one that peaks at 1300 revs. That one has a 2100 RPM governor. The others, the 275 and 300 are 1800, and the 325 is a 1900 RPM governor. So we're going to go ahead and just pop that in right now. So let's do that, and then let's see if we get a CPU spike when we switch to transmission. I've got the real Eaton Fuller mod plus the mod trucks on this profile, so it's got to go through something like 1800 transmissions before it pulls it up on the screen. And we saw nothing. Okay, I guess I'd already accessed that. Let's go ahead and type in auto shift. Those are the options we've got. I think we can get away with slightly taller gearing. I guess I'll go with the 3.7. Okay, go back here. Right, go ahead and fire it up. So, same engine, different gearing, but different power and torque output. So I'm now going to just feather the throttle and just move it off and kind of see if it also needs to calibrate itself. I think it will. Feathering the throttle here, barely giving it any. Squeezing it just a little harder. Okay, it didn't that time, and it's probably because it's got a bit more torque. Quite a bit more torque. This is 1225 foot-pounds of torque, as opposed to 975, so there is an appreciable difference there. It's still not a ball of fire, but we don't really expect it. 325 horses is not a lot to have under the hood of a truck these days. Ooh, I wonder how much this combination weighs. It could be interesting to find out. Well, I say interesting. Let's take a look. Alright, well, it most definitely, it's either more calibrated this time, or it's much happier with a bit more torque. It's only 38,000 pounds, it's not a heavy combination. I think the other observation about the fact that the lesser engine just needed to have a bit more calibration time. Something I found with the ATS is that if you've got less than about 1,000 foot-pounds of torque, I got to take extra care and attention setting up those engines, because the game was, I guess, biased or built for more modern trucks and more modern torque outputs. It makes sense. And yeah, the lesser torque engines, they really can struggle with some of the gearing and some of the scaling decisions. Things like, what I mean there is the fact that the map is not one-to-one for scale, but the gradients are maybe, so you got to work them hard up and down hills. Anyway, I think I'm very happy with the initial results. Let's go ahead and bring this little beast to a stop. Do that, shut that down. Oh, I don't know if yeah, I didn't raise the trailer, not that it matters. So go ahead and do that. There we go. Right, well, that just about brings today's video to a close. I hope that you enjoyed this one. It's a little interesting, a little different. I've got a few miles to put on this truck or anything else I install the 3176 into, and we'll see how well that goes as to when the engine's released. So thanks so much for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.